Next, we're going to move to Artboard 7, and we're going to see our starting 3 shapes and our final 3 shapes. I want you to notice that what kind of looks like over here we have a white shape. It's not just the black outline, but when we come in here, you can see that there's no more white. We're going to learn about creating compound paths, and what they do is it allows you to use a vector object to cut a hole in another vector object. So a good way to think about a compound path is think of a donut or a donut shape. So a donut can be created from 2 circles. Holes appear where the paths overlap. So a compound path is treated like a group, and the individual objects can still be edited or released. So within our donut, we could still edit the inside circle, the size of that, or make it a different shape if we wanted to. So in artboard number 7, we're going to make a donut by using one of these shapes to stamp a hole. So we're going to select the gray circle on the left, and we're going to drag it so that it starts to overlap on the dark circle. So just bring that over to that point. Then we're going to take the white circle with the black stroke. We can look at our appearance. It is indeed white with a black stroke. And we're going to bring this and we're going to center it in this gray shape. And at some point with our smart guides, we should see when we're centered. And when we do this, we can see that it's a white shape on top of here. This is not punched out a hole, and maybe to prove that, let's change our white fill to any other color, just so we're being very aware that it hasn't punched out a hole. It has just put this circle on top of the lighter gray circle right now. So with our smaller circle selected, we're going to shift and click on the gray circle to select it as well. So we have these 2 circles, these 2 vector objects selected. Then we're going to go up to Object. We're going to find Compound Path, which that word could be replaced with the word donut to help you remember. Make. And as you can see, it used that inner circle to punch a hole in the other piece. So we can now take this gray part and move it over into the other and center it as well. If this isn't on top, if it's in the wrong stacking order and you don't see it, remember all you have to do is Object, Arrange, and then bring it to the front. So again, that shape on top of the other one, when you tell it to become a compound path, think of it as stamping a hole. So if you wanted a star-shaped hole in this circle, you'd put a star shape on top of it, select both, and then do Object, Compound Path, Make. All right, click away, and then we're going to marquee select all of them and group them as well using the Group button over in the bottom of the Properties panel. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to combine shapes. So creating more complex shapes from simpler shapes can often be easier than trying to create them fresh using something called the pen tool, which we're going to use in a week or 2. So we're going to put shapes together to make complex shapes rather than drawing the outline using the pen tool. So the first method that we're going to learn for combining shapes is going to be using the Shapebuilder tool. This tool is going to allow us to visually and intuitively merge, delete, fill, and edit overlapping shapes and paths. Using the Shapebuilder tool, we're going to create a more complex trailer shape from a series of simpler shapes. So let's go to Artboard 8. So in our Properties panel, let's go to Artboard 8. And here we can see some different shapes that have been made. With our selection tool, we're going to drag a marquee across a few of the shapes, but we're going to make certain that we don't get the white wheel, this purple piece, or the hitch of the trailer. So we're just going to marquee up in here, and we're going to get all of these shapes that are inside the marquee. We're going to exclude the wheel, exclude the purple, exclude the hitch. All right. To edit these shapes, with the Shapebuilder tool, they first need to be selected. So now we're going to use the Shapebuilder tool, and we have to go find that in the toolbar. It's right under the eraser. It looks like two circles with a dotted line between them, like they're being joined. That's the Shapebuilder. So click on that tool and bring your cursor into the image. And we're going to start with our cursor off to the left up in this area, and we're going to click and drag into this one and then into the next piece. Notice how they're lighting up and a red outline is showing what the piece will be, what the final piece will look like when we let go of our cursor. And then we're going to let go. Notice it turned those two things into one shape, and when we hover over it, it now treats that as one single piece. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to merge all of these pieces, not this one right here, and not the wheel. So we're going to start up here, and we're going to kind of kitty corner go through here like this. This is not very good. I need to do a better job of this because I also wanted this piece. Whatever, I got them all. And then when you let go, it takes all of those pieces and turns it into one. All right, now we need to delete a few shapes. So with all these, well, with these two shapes still selected, this one back here is the one that we want to get rid of, and you can tell it's not here in the final. Also notice that I always have a plus sign by my cursor, meaning I'm adding the two of them together. So I'm going to hold down the Option or Alt key on your computer. Notice that it turned into a minus sign, and I'm going to click on this piece to delete it. And then I can let go of the Option key. All right, with our selection tool, go back to that, click away to deselect, and we're going to drag across the larger shape, the purple bar, and the white wheel circle to select all three of these. So drag across those. Remember, they have to be selected before you go into the Shapebuilder. So we selected them. Now we go back to the Shapebuilder. And when we use this tool, we're going to put our pointer below the white circle, so down here, and we're going to hold the Option key and drag through the circle but stop before the top of it. So we're going to hold down Option, that's minus, and we're going to go from down here and we're going to drag up into it, but we're going to stop before we cross the line. We don't want to get up in here. We want to stay down here. I'm going to have to undo that. So start below, hold Option, and pull up until all of that is filled with the mesh, and then let go of your mouse button and then let go of your Option key. That knocked out the tire, which really wasn't a tire. It was just a shape that was going to be the wheel well for us. So we no longer have a shape here. Now, once you learn how to use the pen tool, you could draw this with the pen tool, doing an anchor, 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 anchor. However, you can see how it's really quite easy to do this with simple shapes and using the Shapebuilder. All right, let's use our selection tool and deselect. And we're going to click on the edge of the larger shape to select it. We are going to change it to a fill color of red number 1. And we're going to take away our stroke. Once we've done that, we're going to marquee select all 3 pieces, so the red, the purple, and the black hitch, and we're going to group them together. And then we can click to deselect. And that is how you use the Shapebuilder, which is actually very intuitive. Dragging over pieces brings them together, holding Option and dragging over pieces takes them away.